Hey guys, in this video we're going to look at k1to's instant window smokes from spawn, so let's get started. So if you watched my last video on tabs, then you're going to know about these smokes. And what I'm going to do in this video is basically break down how you can use these smokes, what you can do to implement them in your team, and as well what to expect from them. So k1to mainly uses 4 different smokes. What you just saw earlier was the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one, the one closest to A. And this is the fourth one, the one closest to B. And if he doesn't get any of those spawns, he'll normally just do the normal window smoke where he goes next to the trash bin. So what you see here are all the possible spawns that you can have as a T. And right here I've numbered them in the same way that the map numbers them, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. And this is the same way that practice mode numbers them as well. Now the smokes in question are actually from spawns 5, 7, 8, 9. These are the ones that k1to uses. So if we look at the smokes, we can actually identify them here. So this one's spawn number 7, so that's this one right here. This one was spawn number 8, so this one right here. This one was spawn number 5, so this one here, the one closest to A. And this one was spawn number 9, so the one closest to B. So how can you practice these smokes? So if you have an offline server, you can simply just open up your console, put in the coordinates for one of the spawns, so this one's the 7th one, and then just practice it from here. If you have the practice mode plugin, you can simply just type in .spawn7 or whatever particular spawn you want to work on. So as I mentioned before, these 4 are the ones that k1to uses. However, there are actually additional ones that you can learn as well from the other spawn points. All of these are going to be in the description below if you want to learn them. I'm not going to get into it in this video. I actually think it's the least interesting part about these smokes, so let's get on to the more interesting stuff. One of the best things about doing the instant window smoke is the fact that you can actually get to your spot as quickly as you can. Right here we see that Valde, he had the best spawn possible to do a palace push. And because k1to used the smoke, you can actually meet him at this particular choke point to get the kill. This would not be possible if you did the normal smoke next to the trash bin. So right here you're going to see an example of me. I'm trying to do the window smoke as fast as I possibly can. And because I actually have to spend the time to actually get to the trash bin, Valde will already be posted on me at a really good point. So right here you're going to see that Valde, he would already be posted on me and set up by the time I even get to the choke point here. In regards to timing, this is exactly why you want to throw the instant window smoke. Because you can throw the smoke right away from your spawn, you can actually go immediately towards this mid area to fight for mid control. So right here you're going to see that k1to, as he comes in towards this mid area, he's able to fight res. And this would not be possible if he had to go towards the back of T spawn next to the trash bin to throw the window smoke. One of the most common reasons why they throw the instant window smoke is to actually facilitate Sursen's op pick. So right here, we see that they smoked window, they smoked top mid, and what this allows is that basically Sursen, as he comes in through the right side of the smoke, he doesn't have to actually worry about window. He doesn't have to worry about window in this instance, he can just focus directly on connector. This pick is only possible because of the instant window smoke. If you look at the timing, the smoke pops basically as soon as Sursen gets towards this top mid area. If you threw the normal window smoke from next to the trash bin, Sursen would actually have to wait before he goes for this pick. But right here, because the smoke is already there, Sursen doesn't have to worry about window when he goes for this connector pick. So this is another play you can do. So right here, once again, k1to is going to throw that instant window smoke. Tizian, he has the best spawn, and what he's going to do is he's actually going to jump along the left side of this top mid smoke and drop down to bottom mid. He's going to try to challenge connector right away, and this wouldn't be possible without the instant window smoke. Here we see another example. So once again, k1to, he's going to throw the instant window smoke. Sursen, he's going to challenge mid right away. And again, the smoke pops by the time Sursen even gets towards the top of middle. And because of this, Sursen can actually challenge towards the bottom of connector. And a common reaction from the CTs whenever there's a window smoke is that this CT here, who's playing window, will rotate over towards the ticket booth area. And this player here will rotate over towards the site. So by throwing the instant window smoke, you basically force him to do this rotation earlier. And it gives you a bit more time in the round to kind of play with. So having the right spawn is really important to being able to do the instant window smokes. So what I've done is I've actually taken 7 demos of Big on Mirage, and I wrote a small program to be able to parse through all the spawns that they had. And with this data I was able to come up with a few different things. So as we already know, there's actually 17 spawns in T-spawn that you can possibly have. And here's a chart that basically outlines how often each spawn occurs. And right here we can see that the spawns are relatively equal among all of them, and that's what we should expect from the game. Although 11's a little bit higher than everyone else, if we continue to add more matches, you're going to see that all the spawns will start leveling out. So using this data, I also determined the percentage of rounds where an instant window smoke spawn is available. Keep in mind I only used the 4 smokes that k1to uses, and I checked to see if that spawn was even available in the first place, if somebody even had it. So right here we can see that 74% of the time somebody had a k1to smoke spawn available, and 26% of the time nobody had spawned in one of those 4 locations. So now we know that 3 out of every 4 rounds somebody's going to get a k1to smoke spawn. Now what does Big try to do to try to capture as many of these spawns as possible? They basically just tell k1to that he needs to know all 4 of these smokes, and hopefully he spawns in one of these 4 locations. So this is what the data says about Big's approach. So right here we can see that k1to is actually in this spot right here where he knows 4 of the smokes, and because of that he can throw the smoke roughly almost 30% of the time. Now if he only knew 2 of the smokes, he'd only be able to throw the smoke about 18% of the time. And if he learned more of the smokes, if he learned about 7 of the smokes, he'd actually be able to throw this about 45% of the time. So let's try some different approaches. So let's just say we had 3 people learn 1 smoke. So right here let's just say that k1to, Taps, and Xanters, they know 1 smoke. So with this approach, you're going to see that if you have those 3 people learn 1 smoke, they're going to be able to throw that smoke only about 15% of the time. With that one person who knows 4 of the smokes, it's arguably better than having 3 people learn 1 smoke. The only way that they're actually relatively equal is if all 5 people on the team learn this 1 smoke to be able to contend with one person just knowing 4. Let's say we use this approach instead. So let's just say that each person knows a different lineup. We're going to see the results are basically the same as if each person knew the same lineup. So let's try this approach instead, where we're going to have 2 people, they're going to try to learn as many of the smokes as they can, and they're going to be the only ones responsible for learning the smokes. You're going to see that this yields a better result. So here we're going to see that with 2 people, if they know 3 smokes, that's going to be almost the same as one person knowing 4. However, if you learn more smokes, if you learn 6 smokes, you're actually going to be in this 57% range, and that's going to be a lot higher than if you had just had one person even learn 7 smokes at 45%. So let's just say we want to use this approach where we want multiple people to know all 4 of the smokes. So you can see this is a pretty good option because if you had 2 people that knew 4 smokes, this is about the same as if one person knew 7 smokes. If you had 3 people know 4 smokes, this is about the same as if 2 people knew 6 smokes. And if you had 4 people know 4 smokes, this is about the same as if 2 people knew 7 smokes. So you can use this chart to basically determine what fits your team. So if you're a full team of 5, you might want to have 2 or 3 people that know 4 lineups to increase the chances that you're actually going to get one of these spawns. If you're just playing with a friend playing Face It, you might want to look at how many lineups the 2 of you guys should actually know to increase the chances that you might actually have one of these spawns. And if you're in the case of Big, k1to should really just try to teach one other person all 4 of these smokes because they're going to be able to do this about 47% of the time versus what they have now where k1to's the only one, he's only able to do this about 28% of the time. So if you're a CT, what do you need to know about this instant window smoke? So even if you have the best spawn like Valde has right here, when the smoke is thrown, you're not going to be able to body block it. It's already going to land inside the window room. As well, your timing window to actually be able to peek mid is actually going to be a lot smaller because the smoke is thrown so early. So right here we're going to see that James, he's going to try to peek window, and he basically gets smoked out right away. So if we look at Mantu's point of view, you're going to see that as soon as he hears the window smoke popping towards window, he's basically just going to start rotating over towards this jungle area to post up from the connector side. And you have to also be aware that the T can also try to fight you towards this catwalk position right away. And if you have a pretty good spawn, so Apex here probably has the second best spawn you can get for window, you can also just do the cat jump to basically avoid this window smoke situation altogether. So what about the Molotov counter? So right here I'm going to show that k1to is going to throw the standard smoke, the one next to trash bin. You actually have time as a CT to come inside window room to then throw the Molotov to cancel the smoke. But if k1to uses the instant smoke, even if you have the best spawn, you're not going to be able to have time to actually get inside window room to throw this Molotov to block the smoke. So one of the only ways to counter this is to actually throw the Molotov through the vent. So right here we're going to see that. I'm going to throw the Molotov through the vent, you're going to see that it basically cancels the smoke and it produces a huge gap. So key detail about blocking these smokes is that you actually want to throw the Molotov towards this back wall so that the smoke pops at the back wall position. You don't want it to pop right here because if it pops right here, it's mostly still going to cover window. But if you get to pop right here, you can still be able to peek window very freely like this. So here's what I was talking about. So if you throw the Molotov too early, the smoke pops, you're not going to get the gap. So why is this a big deal? So it actually depends on which smoke the T throws. So if he decides to smoke from spawn 9, if you throw this Molotov, he'll be able to produce the gap like you expect. But if he throws the spawn 7 smoke, you're going to see that if you try that same Molotov, it's not going to produce a gap. So that's why it's important to nail down the timing so that the smoke pops right when the Molotov hits the back wall. Alright guys, that's it. If you guys liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more future content. Thanks again, I'll see you guys in the next one.